going to look today at the goals. Let's read it. Today is Monday, April 30, and we will, again, identify. Abdullah, identify. Jobs, duties, and places in a story. Let's try this fast. In a story. Good. In a story. Number 2. We will talk about what we did. Let's try this again. What we did. On the weekend. On the weekend. Okay. Let's try this again.
What we did.
What we did.
On the weekend.
On the weekend. All right, number 3. We will ask and answer questions about time, place. Very good. And duties. I teach a literacy level ESL class. We have between 10 and 15 students. Most of my students are learning to read for the very first time. The classroom that we have is a community space that does not have any technology, nor does it have internet. So I have to be creative with the way I present the material for the students. We're going to read these together, like we always do, but today's something different. Okay? I have a question. Can you see this question? I'll give you this question. One for you. One for you. Hawa Muslima. Ariga.
Yes. Thank you.
What's the question? What's the question?
What we will today.
What will?
What we do today.
Let's try again. What will we do?
What we will do
Today. What will we do today?
What we will do.
We're going to go around. Everybody try once. Abdullahi, can you? What? What will we do?
What we will do today. What we will do today.
Good. Dofa? Just Dofa.
What will we do today?
Good. So one person is going to ask the question. I'm going to let you be the question. Julio, question. Muslima, question. Ariga, question. You could be Ariga's partner, maybe. And Abdullahi, answer. Dofa, answer. Hawa. Okay. Okay. So who has question? Can you raise your hand? Question. Question? Question? Good. Answer? Answer. Good. What is the question today that I give you? What?
What will we
Do today. Good. If you have blue card, you ask the question, what will we do today? Answer is here. So what will we do today? This is the answer. What's the answer?
What we will identify jobs.
We will find jobs, duties, and places in a story. Then we ask the question again. What will we do today? And the second answer. What's the second answer? Talk about what we did on the weekend. And one more time, the question? What will
We will talk about what
No, 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 no. What will we do today? Here. We will ask and answer questions about time, place, duties. Great. If you have the blue card, you ask the question once and then answer. Question, answer. And then we will change cards, okay? One more time, Muslima. Now you change. Now you are question and you are answer. So you're the question,
Yeah.
and then
What
he answered.
What will you do today?
Okay.
We will think about what we'll do on a
Oh, that's for three. 3 times, 3 answers.
Yeah.
Good. So question, answer. Very good. Everything is new. Everything is new at this level. And there's so much print and input and sound coming towards the students. It's important to have routines at this level so that students can feel successful. They know what's coming, they know what's expected to them, and they can execute the task. It's not always wondering what's coming next. You know that at this time in the class, or when I signal in a certain way, that this is what is expected of them, and it's never just anxious and wondering what's going to happen next. And so it lowers that affective filter, and I don't think just only for this level, I mean, it helps for this level, but it gives a structure to the class, to the flow. It makes my job easier. The volunteers know what to expect, and the students know what to expect. And with so much that we're trying to achieve, to accomplish, it's kind of a lifesaver. Okay, we have a new question. What's the question?
what did you do on the weekend?
What did you do on the weekend? What did you do on the weekend? So, but what did you do? What actions? Cook.
Okay,
All right, so we're going to say,
washing.
I
I
cooked.
cooked.
I cooked. Cooked what? I cooked food. You don't need to write this, just listen. What did you do on the weekend, Muslima?
I read in book.
I read a book. Okay, Dofa, Jamila, you gave me one. Hawa, what did you do on the weekend? I went to Carmel. You went shopping. What's the first word in all of the answers? I. I went. I cooked. I read a book. Cooked.
Cooked lunch.
I
Cleaned.
House.
Visited.
My brother.
Went.
To
Church.
church.
Watched. TV.
What to
I went
I wanted
to Carmel.
Carmel.
First word, I, for person. Went, cooked, read, cleaned. What kind of word is this? It's past. But cleaned, cooked, watched. Is this person or action? Action. So first person, duties, then action. Good. And we put it in the past because this is the past. What did you do on the weekend? You're going to be where you're going to be. You're going to start out wherever you are. Rome wasn't built in a day. And I think it's important. There's a lot that we're doing, a lot that we're managing. You're just going to take little pieces at a time. If a standard seems like it's very far off, well, would you have to do to get them there? For my class, it wasn't that the English part, it was just doing the task, the turn taking that took time. And I realized before I could even hit these standards, be proficient in a certain standard, I had to lay the groundwork. But it paves the way for other things to happen too. It's not just all about CCRS, it allows for the class to just progress smoothly. So looking at it from that perspective, it's really nice to have some guidelines. So you have question and answer cards, yes? Whose question? 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 Answer? Good. This is your question. These are some answers. Now, I want you to say 2 or 3 things, 3 actions you did. These are examples. But you don't have to, but say I. I cooked food. I watched TV. Okay?
You ask the question.
I rode my bicycle. I rode my bicycle.
But something else. You went to Carmel and I read Quran. Okay.
What did you do on the weekend?
So one more thing, Hawa. What did you do on the weekend? In the end, our students want to be able to produce the language, and they want to understand what's being said to them. No matter what we're doing, if it's a simple worksheet or a writing activity, at some point I want them to I tie a question to it so they can just get used to the language that would be used in that exchange. And as they progress, it's assumed that the students are going to work together as they progress, that they are in charge of the exchange and the teacher's the facilitator. While I'm very much involved in the class, trying to set it up so that the students can learn without me having to, feed it to them all the time. We finished one of these. Which one did we finish? We were talking about our weekend and asking questions. Which one did we finish?
Number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Can you read it, Dofa?
Weekend.
Yeah.
Pass.
Weekend.
Yeah. Pass.
So read it for me, Dofa.
We will talk about which we did on the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were talking about the past
Pass. Yeah, finish.
and weekend.
Yeah.
So in your notebooks, please write number 1, finished. I was just writing things down that we would be doing in class, and I wanted them to see this is what we're going to be doing, and then revisit it at the end of the class, and this is what we have achieved. And what happened is that the students started copying it down. And so I saw the agenda as a way to be a routine. When the agenda goes up on the board, we will practice pronunciation, we will write such and such down. They know to open their notebooks, the class has begun, and they need to copy. They have become faster at writing. We use the agenda to practice words, to practice word parts. And when I start, I might say talk about. And then I use talk about for a month. And then next time I might say discuss. And then they know that means talk about. So you start with the very simple words. And so you can build rigor just by letting, these are things that they're already doing in class. And then they're learning new vocabulary, they're learning pronunciation. And then from that, from the agenda, I added the simple question, what will we do today? And that was practicing. So one asks that, the other one reads the line item. That's just practicing the exchange. And so that question and answer and collaborating can extend onto any other activity that we do. So we're automatically practicing it, and I don't have to reteach that. When we get to something where they need to work with a partner, they know how to do it because they've practiced it every day. Having a routine in the classroom is really important because it allows the students to focus on the task at hand and not on how to do the task. And so there is that period where they have to learn the routine, and that can take a month, it could take 2 weeks, 2 months. Once we've mastered that routine, like I said, we could focus on the task and not have to use the brain power on just how we're going to get there. Also, it saves time. Establishing a signal for when it's time to listen. What do you do when you come in the classroom? Every time you get a piece of paper, you write your name on it. These are things that then I don't have to take time away from class to do. Okay. What are these? Boxes. Boxes. All right. This one is a little hard to see. City?
Building.
School. It's a school. Lindale Public School. This is a school. School. This is America, but do you know the red one? What state? It's a big state. New York? Texas. This is Texas. We are here, Minnesota. This one, Texas. What was the state? Texas. Here? Factory. Boxes. Mail. Custodian. Office. Manager. Packager. Lights. Toilet. School. What's this word? Texas. Mail. Does somebody want to come and to put this on the board? Hawa?
Office.
No, Hafiz. Office. I use visuals and hands-on tasks in the classroom because it allows students at all levels to be successful. It would be a little overwhelming to hand out a reading and just say, let's go, let's read it and answer the questions. It's a way to warm up. It's a way to reinforce what the content, what they're about to read, and it allows them to have some success with the story before we even launch into the final part, which is the question and answer and the reading comprehension. So the story we're going to read. What do we know? What are the places? The place. Texas is a place. Factory is a place. School is a place. Box is a place. Okay, so these are places. Any other place? Huh? Office. Office. These are places. All right. The jobs. What are the jobs?
Package.
Packager.
Custodian.
Custodian. And?
Manager. Mail. Office.
Office. Worker. Office worker. Okay. So these are places where these three jobs. Who? What are all these? Are they duties? But a duty is an action. What are lights? Toilet. Mail. Boxes. What are they? These are place. These are people. What are these?
Actions.
Toilet action?
No.
No.
Village.
Nope, these are places.
My.
Store.
I know you know how.
Store.
Toilet. My.
Like the sharpener,
Focus.
eraser.
Focus.
What are these?
Eyesight.
Store. Place.
And store.
Things.
Things.
Things. These are places, things, jobs or people. This question, where? Where? This question,
Where?
what?
What?
What? For people?
Who?
Who? Where? What? Who? I plan the way I always plan. But then when I have my material, I look through the book and I see what standards I could hit or how I can expand upon what I have to meet these standards, knowing that the increased rigor is only going to benefit students. Instead of thinking I have to design a lesson around the standard, I think take the lessons that you have and see how you can apply them to what you already have. The tweaks I make are breaking it down into manageable parts so that we can be successful at achieving that standard. I'm going to hand out little packs of cards, and I want you to organize them by places, things, and people. Okay? Packager. Yes, they go together, exactly. Good. Packager.
This school.
It's a good idea. Cleaning the school.
Yeah.
That's a good deduction.
House.
The house, okay.
The light.
The manager goes in the office.
Thanks.
Uh-huh. Mail, okay. So we have mail. What are these? Lights, okay. Now you have the pictures out. We're going to match the words to the pictures. And there's some extra words in here. You will see. Okay?
No, it's a job. It's a person.
Come around. Sit by our
Manager and office worker.
Can you read that?
Good place. Sudan. Good.
Waxaa weeye my wax ambaloya
Lights.
mile
Mm-hmm.
state boxes
Boxes. Very good. Whenever we do a story, first I establish a context with the pictures. I want them to be able to work with it and manipulate it. And even the act of taking the pictures and the words that they're matching and putting them right side up, it's as a word that they can recognize. Just like reading it several times, I think if they can interact with it by putting the pieces together, highlighting, circling, also reinforces the actions that we do in the classroom. Circling, underlining, highlighting, look for, point to. You put the words and the pictures together, you match them. For the people, what's the question word for the people? Who? 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 How about for the things? What is the question word? What? Oh, you guys are on fire. What? The places. Where? We have who for people. What? For things. Where? What are these? Places. Where? Places. What? Things. Who? Person or jobs. What are these years? Do you know the question word? When? When? Repeat, when? When? When is for time. Time. This is time. A year. When. I've heard a lot of teachers say that their students are too low to do CCRS work. And to that I say, scaffolding, scaffolding, scaffolding. You have to be ready for it to take some time, and I think that's fine. Look at where you want to be, and then just plan backwards. And some of your steps might have to be really intentional, but in repeating these steps over and over and over so that we can achieve this, be successful at this standard, you're starting to implement routines, which will make everything go much quicker in the end. Especially at the lower levels, it might seem like you have to do so much and so much scaffolding and work on the routines a lot in the beginning. But as the students become proficient with the routines and they get used to the routines and new students come, they can explain the routines in the first language, which is much easier and allows them to get up to speed quicker than at the onset. So I think you should be ready that there's a bit of a learning curve. You're doing it all in English. It's unfamiliar, a task and language. But once everyone is on board, it just becomes faster and faster and faster. And it really works itself out. We're going to start a story. I'm going to hand this out. You're going to write your name on it. Okay? Take one and pass, please. Fold the paper under the questions. So we're going to fold here, under the questions, like this. What's the title of this story? Look at, what is the title? The title, do we remember? What's the
pictures.
No.
No, my title don't worry.
What's the title? Oh, the title is at the top. What's the Max works hard. This is the title. Can you write here? Title.
Marcus work.
Please write on your paper, title. And circle the title. Circle the title. Yes, circle the title, Max works hard. Max is a person, works, your action or your duty, yes. The person in picture 1, this woman. Who is she? Who is she? Maria. Her name is Maria? How do we know that? This woman. What is her job? Packager. Good. Okay, what is her job? What does she do? What are her duties? Packager. What does she do? She is a packager. But what are her duties, her actions? Put things in the box. Maybe plastic? And where? Where does she work? Where? Factory. Good. So this is a packager. She puts things in boxes in the factory. Well, with a low-level learner, you really have to be ready to go through many steps in order to get them even ready to interact with the text. In this particular lesson, we started by just establishing context with the vocabulary that was found in the story. And we did it as a whole class. Then we scaled back and we did it in groups. When we start to read the text, we did it multiple times. We did it where I read it and they listen. I read it and they repeat. They read it with a partner. They read it silently. And by the time they're reading it, they already have seen the vocabulary that shows up in the reading, so they know what to expect. We're going to open the papers. Open the papers. we're going to read it many times. I will read it first, and you listen, just silent, listen, okay? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Max is a hard worker. Max has had many different jobs. He started working in 2010. First, he was a packager in a factory. He put things in boxes and put the boxes on a truck. He worked in the factory from 2010 to 2013. The work was hard. Next, he was a custodian in a school. He cleaned and waxed the floors. He took out the trash. He fixed the toilets and the lights. He was a custodian from 2014 to 2016. Max was tired. Last year, he moved to Texas. He started working in an office. Now he is an office worker. He answers the phone. He gives mail to people in the office. Max likes to work in the office. Okay? All right, now I'm going to read and you repeat.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready? Max is a hard worker.
Max is a hard worker.
Everybody. Araga Abdul. Max is a hard worker.
Max is a hard worker.
Good. Max has had many different jobs.
Many different jobs.
He started working in 2010.
He started working in the 2010.
Now we're going to read it again, but you read it alone, silently. Not together, alone. Okay? You read silently. The multiple reads, so I want them to get, the students to get used to hearing the story, seeing the story, hearing their voices with the story, and the purpose is just to get them comfortable with what they're reading, to hear them say the words, pronounce the words. There's a lot to manage at this level, and even if you choose a simple text, it could be very difficult and challenging, and so we want to practice it in many different forms, hearing it, seeing it, speaking it. Dolfa, can you read the first sentence?
Max is a hard worker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Max has had many different jobs.
Dolfa? Okay, so every time you see the period, you change. Okay? We did this last week. Let's read it again. Okay? So we'll just have to make sure they're changing. Yeah. All right, I'll be with you. Okay, so we're going to read this. And Araga, you start. First sentence. Yeah, you start first. Oh, wait, we're going to go Araga first. Max?
Max is a
Worker.
worker.
Okay. Abdul Kadir?
Max has
Trash.
trash.
Good. Araga?
Next.
If is
My
lights.
lights. Light.
No. You
Clinic. Clinic.
custodian.
Custodian.
Four paragraph.
From
Sentence
2000.
What is it? The first sentence.
Abdul Kadir. I want you to take your yellow highlighters. Do you have your yellow highlighters?
Yes.
Yellow? There's a yellow one there.
Yellow.
Yellow highlighters. And highlight the job. What's Max's first job? What is his first job? Look at line 3. Look at line 3. What's his first? Huh?
Victoria.
But the job, what's the name? What is his job? Line 3. Packager. Highlight packager in yellow. Highlight in yellow his second job. What is Max's second job?
Victoria.
Custodian? What line, Dolpha? Line 6.
Yeah.
Second job, custodian. Highlight custodian.
Yellow.
Yellow. Only yellow. With the highlighting, we had to learn from the very beginning on how to use the highlighter, how to take the cap off the highlighter. But now they know that it's not just managing the highlighter. We know that the students know that they have to highlight the important information. What's the information that's going to be helpful to them? And they welcome it. They know what to do. They know what colors they like. And I'm able to connect that then, as you've seen in the video, with questions and understanding questions, and highlighting that information helps them to get to the answer that they need and that they're looking for. What were Max's duties in the factory? Okay,
In the Victoria.
so look at line 3. Let's read line 3.
So highlight factory.
No, what we want to highlight his duties in the factory. He put, so let's see. He put things
Boxes.
in boxes and put the boxes on a truck. All of that is the duty. But you're going to start with the action. He put things
What things
in the,
and
put
what is green?
Boxes.
on a truck. You highlight, Abdullahi, all of this.
All highlight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but not he. Just put. At the school.
School. Where?
So let's find school. Cleaning. Cleaning and clean and wax the floors. He has many duties. He cleaned and waxed the floors. He took out the trash. One more thing. His duties at the fix what?
Fixes the coverlet.
Fixes, highlight, what, Jamila? Fixes the toilet. Highlight, fixes the toilet in green. Highlight, fixes the toilet in green. What are Max's duties now?
Now.
What are his duties now?
Now, yeah.
He works in the office.
Only one office worker.
Highlight the duties in green now.
Give mail to people from their office. I like the work. I like the work and the office.
The highlighting routine allows students to identify information that's important to them that they need to remember. It gives them the opportunity to see the important information. It makes the information pop out to them. They don't have to go searching for it. We've already searched for it, and they've identified it, and they've highlighted it. And so when we go revisit that reading, that stands out as a key piece of information. And as they continue, we know when we read, we highlight, we circle, we draw a line, we underline, we make notes. They're practicing this skill that they're going to be using as they progress through the levels. And it allows them to show that they know the answer even without reading a question. They can just ask and they can demonstrate just by the stroke of the highlighter that that is the answer and that they know. Here's the question. Where does Max work now? What is this word, where?
School.
Yep, place. So we know he's in, where does he work now? Office. So highlight office. Highlight office, pink. Highlight office. Where did Max work in 2014? Where? Custodian? But where? Where? School. Did we already do school? No, we didn't. Good. Highlight school. School. Highlight school. But where? The place.
School.
Good. School. Yes.
The last question is where are?
I'm okay. Place.
Time is the year.
Year.
The
Time,
year.
year.
Yeah. 2030. No. This is factory.
Victory.
The yellow is, we highlighted yellow for what? What is everything yellow? But look at your paper. What's yellow?
Yellow.
Custodian.
School. Office.
Office worker.
Office worker.
And
Custodian. Office.
office worker, custodian, packager. What are all of these? What are they?
Office place.
Duties?
No.
Hawa and places?
Office place.
Office worker, custodian, packager. They are all, what are they?
Where?
Place?
Where?
No.
Where?
Who? Yes. Who? Good. Who?
All who?
They are all who? They're people,
Yeah.
jobs. These are yellow. The yellow are all who? People. What about the green? What's the green?
You're right, Leah.
Track.
Duty.
Duties. All the greens are duties. And duties are what?
Action.
Action. What about pink? Place. Excellent. And what's the word we use for place? We have who, what, a word. It starts with this.
Office.
Good. Yeah, we have school, office, factory. But what word do we use? Huh? Where? Where? What you see with the students highlighting just didn't happen. There was months prep, but I'd like to say that it was, while it was overwhelming for me, I'm really proud of what they've been able to accomplish, and now they know what highlighting and circle means, and we put it on, we do it with everything that we do in the class. Incorporated, I'd say, everything that you're doing in your class, and eventually you'll get there. We're going to do some questions and answers about the story, and I'll give you some questions, and you answer using your story, okay? And then we will switch question and answer, all right? You have questions about, you have green. You can start with yellow. Pink. All right.
Tell me the question.
So you're going to read the questions. You will read the questions. And Muslima answers, Julio answers. Okay? All right. Can you read the questions for Muslima?
Was Marcus jobs.
First job.
First jobs.
Packager. Good. Second question.
What was
In office.
has school? School
What was Max's?
was second job.
Okay, good. I don't think that the band A is a starting point. I think that, at least for my class, that was the goal. We had to do a lot of work just to get up to this exchange.
Work is
It's line.
Yes, what 14.
Okay, now, where did he work in 2000?
Now.
now.
What's the place?
So where does Max work now?
Last
Nope, now.
2014.
last
Yes, office, because it is now office.
Where
Good.
did he work in 2000?
Where?
Where
It's in pink.
did
Mm-hmm.
It's in
ask is
uh,
work is
Mm-hmm.
in next
2014.
was
custodian.
Where did he work in
the
2014?
Okay. What's the place?
He
What? No, don't read anymore. What's the place?
please
But where? Where did he work?
please
School. Good.
School,
Good. Excellent.
yes.
Number 3.
Yes.
work in school.
2014.
Good. Where?
Factory. Yeah.
did Max
Excellent.
work in
Okay, so we're going to change questions.
2013?
And now Muslima, answer.
Okay.
Okay? You listen to Hawa.
Okay. What?
Truck.
What more?
Truck.
So that was
Truck.
Max's
Truck.
duties in
Other
the
duties.
factory.
Other duties.
Number 2, Hawa?
Truck.
Where?
What was Max?
What?
Where? What? Where? Max. Duties and the
You understand?
school.
Students, what did we finish? No, we ask and answer questions about time, place, duties. We did place, we did duties, we did not talk about time. So this is 3. Now wait 1 second. These are all things we said we will do. Now we finished, right? I'm going to change these words. We can. Remember we studied can? So you go home. People say, what did you learn in English class? Well, we can identify jobs and places and duties in a story. We can. What can you do? We can talk about what we did on the weekends. You can do this in English. You can talk about jobs in English, your weekend in English. And one more. We can ask and answer questions about time, place, and duties. Everybody here, you can ask, you can answer. Yes, we can. Okay? We can, yes. Yes. Don't say no English. Yes, we can. Thank you very much. You worked very hard today. Oh, thank you. Everything that we do ties to CCRS, and I think that you would find that in most classes. It's one of the standards. We did a lot of speaking and listening. The standards talk about turn taking and using the appropriate volume and knowing to ask for clarification. So everything that we do I try to put a simple question around it. If the question's not understood, how we ask for clarification, that all ties to standards and things that, these are skills that the students need to be able to feel comfortable executing when they're outside of the classroom. And in the classroom is a safe environment to practice it, to learn from it, to try it with multiple partners. And I'm trying to create situations that they might find once they leave the class.